I never imagined betrayal would come from the people I trusted most, but it did. All for just $800. I'm Casey Lynn, 24 years old, and I built something that could make a real difference, an AI-powered platform designed to help independent therapists streamline their work, from managing sessions and progress notes to scheduling, all wrapped in one secure interface. But to my parents, I was still just the overzealous daughter who should have followed the family script and gone to law school like my cousins. I remember the moment everything unraveled. I was at a quiet co-working space in Portland, Oregon, cold brew in hand, putting the final touches on an algorithm, when my phone lit up. It was my dad. "Casey, your little project came up at brunch," he said, too casually. "Colin Myers is interested. He wants to buy it." Colin Myers. Just hearing his name made my stomach churn. The son of my mom's college roommate, the kind of guy who dressed like he was pitching to VCs 24/7. He'd already sunk 2 startups but still acted like the next tech messiah. To my parents, he was everything I wasn't: polished, credentialed, male. He had a Columbia MBA, investors, and, supposedly, a better grasp of real business. "Dad, it's not for sale," I replied carefully. "I have 8 practices lined up for the pilot next quarter." "Don't be dramatic," he snapped. "You're not running a company. You're just tinkering with code. Colin can take this and make it real." Just tinkering. Like the countless nights debugging until dawn. The grants I pitched, the mentors I chased down, none of it counted. "The IP is mine," I said. "I'm not selling." But it was already too late. The next night, they invited me to dinner. Colin was already there, grinning like the deal was signed. My mom handed me a glass of wine and said, "Just sign the transfer, sweetheart. It's for the best." My dad raised his glass and toasted new beginnings, without even looking at me. Then came the envelope. "Colin's offering $8,000, my dad said. "Very generous, considering it's still in development." I stared. Was this a joke? "You can't sell what doesn't belong to you," I said, my voice shaking. "You don't own it," Colin cut in smoothly. "Come on, Casey, it's a great idea, but you need someone who knows how to scale. Someone with experience." I looked to my mom. She said nothing, just nodded in approval. "He's right, honey, you're still young. Let someone more established take it from here." They didn't ask. They didn't care. They had no idea I was already in talks with a behavioral health network in California, that the AI I'd built was outperforming existing solutions in efficiency, billing automation, and clinical compliance. To them, I was still a kid playing at business. I stood, the chair scraping sharply against the tile. "You can't sell something you never built," I said. "I own the code. I filed the patent. The LLC is in my name." My father's expression hardened. "Don't be ungrateful," he snapped. "Colin's offering you a real job, with a team, with benefits." Grateful. Grateful they sold out my future for $800 and a glass of wine? I turned to Colin. "Keep your job offer," I said, grabbing my laptop bag. "And if you think I didn't secure the code base, try me." Then I walked out, not just from the dinner, but from the version of myself they had always tried to keep small. But I didn't yet realize how far they'd go. The next morning, I found out they'd gotten access to an old backup drive, one I used back in my tiny apartment when this was just an idea. They copied everything: wireframes, half-finished scripts, discarded notes. And worse, they claimed that because I'd lived under their roof while developing it, it all belonged to them. Colin launched a company within days. He even filed provisional patents using my outdated drafts, and brought my parents in to support false statements about timelines and development. Local tech blogs started buzzing about the bright new mind revolutionizing the mental wellness industry. And my parents? They smiled like it was a family win, but Colin made a fatal mistake. He thought he'd stolen the soul of my platform. What he didn't know was that the true engine, the encrypted core algorithms, was locked away in secure cloud storage, far beyond his reach. While he played pretend, I got to work. I spent the next few days gathering everything, every real line of code, every signed contract, every email that traced the evolution of my vision. I backed up patent filings, secured source files, and built a paper trail so tight it could choke a corporation. Then, I made one phone call to Maya Chang. If you've ever whispered about IP law in Silicon Valley, you know her name. She's made a career out of dismantling tech fraud, surgically, publicly, and with no survivors. During our first meeting, she flipped through my documentation, eyebrows raised. They tried to take your company for $800? They thought I was just a girl with a side project, I replied, steady. She leaned back, her smirk razor sharp. Then let's show them what a side project can do. That conversation lit a fuse. And I didn't know it yet, but the explosion would echo far beyond Colin Myers. Because innovation isn't something you can steal. It's not just code, it's understanding every line, every logic tree, every heartbeat of your creation. And I knew mine better than anyone. The first crack came in the form of a text from Lena, a college friend now working IT at Cascade Valley Health, one of the clinics lined up for my pilot. Casey, you need to see this. Myers Tech just crashed hard during their demo. I smiled. I already knew why. You see, I'd built a failsafe, a silent watchdog embedded deep in the system. It only triggered during a full-scale live deployment. Demos? Smooth. Sandbox environments? No problem. But launch without my personal developer credentials? The platform collapses. 2 weeks after his little heist, Colin threw a flashy launch event at Cascade Valley. The media came. Investors packed the room. My parents beamed from the front row like royalty. And me? I was there too, back row. Sunglasses on, black blazer, silent. Colin swaggered onto the stage like he'd invented the thing. Today, he proclaimed, Myers Tech redefines digital mental health. Then the screen flickered. Red warnings flashed. Interfaces froze. Error messages cascaded down the monitors. Primary authentication key missing. Developer ID required. C. Lin. Colin's smile faltered. He scrambled, restarted, typed frantically. Each attempt made it worse. Unauthorized access detected. Please contact Casey Lin. The room shifted. Investors whispered. Clinic staff stiffened. My parents' faces twisted from pride to confusion. And Colin? He stood center stage, unraveling in real time, realizing too late. He was never the genius. Just a thief who didn't even understand what he'd stolen. I stood up slowly. No fanfare, no rush. I walked down the aisle, heels clicking, and stopped at center stage. Mr. Myers, I said clearly, voice calm but unflinching. Having trouble with my platform? He blinked, stunned, his face drained as I removed my glasses. Maybe I can help, I continued, pulling my laptop from my tote. After all, I built every function you just broke. My dad lurched forward, face crimson. Casey. I didn't even glance his way. I walked to the projector and plugged in. Within seconds, the screens cleared. The real Cascade logic came to life, smooth, fast, flawless. Live analytics, therapist load balancing, predictive scheduling. Features Colin had never seen because he didn't even know they existed. This, I told the stunned room, is the actual system. The one Colin Myers tried to steal, for $8,000. Gasps rippled across the crowd. But I wasn't done. I brought up a folder titled Proof of Ownership. On screen, time-stamped code, notarized patents, signed contracts, source repository logs. Then the final file. Cease and desist notice, effective immediately. Followed by a federal lawsuit for intellectual property theft. Colin surged forward, face mottled with fury. She's lying. Her parents gave me the rights. Maya, who had quietly entered moments before, stood up from the back. Funny thing about intellectual property, she said smoothly, parents can't give away what they never owned. The room turned to stare. Colin backed away. I looked him straight in the eye. Next time, try building something yourself. That's when Maya Chang, my attorney, rose from the front row, calm and commanding. She held up a folder for everyone to see. Your Honor, investors, press, I have signed affidavits and documented evidence of unauthorized access and forgery. The room fell silent. Then Maya's voice cut through with deadly precision. Actually, they didn't own any of it. Ms. Lynn's patents and copyrights were filed and approved long before this charade began. Would you care to explain how you obtained proprietary data belonging solely to Casey Lynn? Chaos erupted. Investors scrambled, canceling deals mid-conversation. Clinic directors whispered anxiously about legal exposure. Reporters surged forward, cameras flashing, voices shouting questions. And Colin? Frozen, pale, shaking, completely undone. My mother lunged toward me, gripping my arm. Casey, how could you humiliate us like this? Colin was trying to help. I pulled away gently. No, Mom, he was trying to steal from me, and you let him, because you never once believed I was enough. My father stammered. We just wanted to protect you. I held his gaze, unwavering. Protect me from what? Building something without you? He opened his mouth. You're just a girl? I finished coldly. This girl built a scalable healthcare platform already valued in 7 figures. The same one your friend's son tried to swipe for less than the price of a used phone. I turned to the room, still watching, still stunned. My name is Casey Lynn. I'm the founder and CEO of Cascade Logic Systems. And under my leadership, we're redefining digital care management across the Pacific Northwest. This is what real innovation looks like when you don't overlook the one who built it. The aftermath was swift and merciless. Colin's investors vanished overnight. His reputation crumbled in Portland's startup community. With Maya spearheading an airtight IP theft case, he wasn't just disgraced, he was legally trapped. And me? I left that room not as someone's daughter, but as the woman they never saw coming. As for my parents? They scrambled to rewrite the story, claiming they'd always believed in me. But the truth can't be erased. How do you trust the ones who sold your future for less than a month's rent? 6 months later, I stood on a very different stage, keynote speaker at Cascade Logic's series of funding announcement. We'd just closed a $50 million round. Our pilot results crushed even my boldest projections. 48% reduction in patient intake delays. 41% improvement in clinic resource utilization. Predictive care demand accuracy bordering on flawless. The auditorium erupted in applause. Among the crowd, I spotted my parents sitting near the back, their faces a mix of regret, pride, and something unspoken. They'd started messaging me again, telling me how proud they were, how they always knew I'd do something special. But their pride was never about love. It was about success I built in spite of them. After the event, they approached me, smaller, slower somehow. Casey, sweetheart, my mother said, eyes wet. We're sorry, we didn't mean. I raised a hand gently. I know you're sorry, I said. But being sorry because I proved you wrong isn't the same as believing in me before I did. My father's voice cracked. Can't we move past this? We're family. I looked at them long and steady. Family supports. Family doesn't sell your life's work to a stranger. You picked Colin because you couldn't imagine your own daughter being enough. I reached into my pocket and handed them each a card. Not a business card, just 3 words printed cleanly on the front. Guest pass, back row. Then I walked away. If you want to meet me, I said, pausing just enough. Schedule through my office, like any other business contact. As I turned, I heard my mother begin to cry softly behind me. A small part of me wanted to look back, to forgive, to pretend it could all be mended. But I didn't. Because I knew better. Sometimes success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were right to believe, even when no one else did. Today, Cascade Logic is transforming digital healthcare nationwide, quietly expanding into international markets. And Colin Myers? He's blacklisted across every major venture network on the West Coast. His name now a whispered warning. That $800 check they tried to buy my company with? It's framed, hanging behind my desk at Cascade Logic HQ. Not as a symbol of bitterness, but of truth. Your worth isn't set by someone else's price tag. It's defined by what you create and fiercely protect. Even when the world tells you to sit down and stay small, there will always be those who underestimate you, who mock your ambition, question your skill, or try to claim your vision. But if you guard what's yours, fiercely and relentlessly. Success won't just be sweet. It will be unshakable. So the next time someone tells you you're just anything, remember, the people who dismiss you aren't your measure. Only you decide your value. As for my parents, they still send messages sometimes, talk of forgiveness, rebuilding, family dinners. Maybe one day, we'll reconnect. But if we do, it won't be on their terms. It'll be on mine. Always mine. Not as the overlooked daughter they once dismissed, but as the woman who proved them all wrong. Because I'm no longer just the girl behind a keyboard. I'm Casey Lynn, founder and CEO of a company reshaping digital healthcare across the US and beyond. And no one, not Colin, not my parents, not anyone, will ever take that from me again. If this story resonates, I'd love to hear yours. Share your setbacks, your breakthrough moments, the day you chose to believe in yourself. Every word reminds me why standing firm matters. It wasn't easy walking away from those who should have believed in me first. But I chose myself. And if you're ever in that same place, choose you, too. Trust your vision. Protect your work. And never let anyone, even family, tell you what you're worth. You're not just anything. You are powerful. You are capable. You are enough. And I'm rooting for you, the same way I finally learned to root for me.